The DB San Antonio is located in St. Paul's Bay, which is approximately a 30-minute transfer from Malta Airport. We stayed here for 7 nights in a family room. Welcome to our hotel room for our stay here in Malta. We're at the DB San Antonio in a family room. So coming in through the door, we have the children's beds here. It looks like the one at the back is normally a day bed, and then the one at the front here has been put in extra to accommodate the 2 children instead of there being 1. We did get asked when we booked if there was any special events for our stay here. Now Elias has just finished some exams at school, so we did mention that, and they've put a cupcake out for him. They've written happy birthday as well. I think there was a bit of a miscommunication with what the celebration was, but the gesture is very nice and appreciated nonetheless. We'll have a little coffee table with kettle and tea, and as usual there is a TV, but we don't really use TV when we're actually staying out on holiday. This here on the wall is a towel rack for drying your towels, so you just hang them there, but it folds away so it's flat rather than having a big towel rack. In terms of the main bed, it's not one main bed, it's 2, and they're actually tucked together like twins instead of being latched together like a double, like what you sometimes get. So yeah, not sold on the bed. I think we're a bit spoilt in our last getaway in Goa. I do have round from the bed some storage. So there are cupboards that have hidden our hand luggages and lots of drawer space. In the big one here we have a safe and a mini fridge. We do have a small outside space as well in the form of a little balcony. Some of the balconies that you can see slightly further along are bigger, so this is probably one of the smaller ones that they have, but it's enough for a little table and a couple of chairs. There isn't much of a view on the side of the hotel that we're on, unfortunately. You're looking at other buildings and things and a car park. So opposite the children's beds here we have the ensuite. So in here we have a rain shower with a separate hand shower. We have mirror with sink, and then there's hand towels and things. I've just noticed actually there's a shoe shine kit. Not seen one of them for a while. We also have a hairdryer. We also have a hairdryer with a little movable mirror, and of course the toilet. There are lots of towels actually provided in the room. So you can see we've got the big towels up here opposite the shower. There's actually a seat in the shower as well. And then out here they've done some towel art with some of the big towels as well, where they've got Elias's cupcake. So the plugs in the room are the same as what we use in the UK, and in Malta a lot of the plugs that they have are those types. However, they do also import a lot of their goods from Italy, so you will find that sometimes parts of Malta will also use EU plugs, sometimes interchangeably. For instance, there are points where it says European plug socket also available. So in reality, most of the plugs are UK plugs in here, but there are EU ones as well. Coming to Malta, and you're not staying in this hotel, you might need an EU adapter just in case. However, you will find that a lot of places do have the UK ones. The hotel has lots of options for pools, including an adults-only pool, which is on the 10th floor as a rooftop infinity pool. Now, I don't know why you still get adults without children around the other pools, because if it was me and my wife here without the 2 children, that's certainly where we would be headed to. There seems to be a lot more availability of sun lounges and shade than by the rest of the pools throughout the hotel. There is also a bar at that pool, which is adults only. The main pools of the hotel are split in half by a bridge, and around the bridge is a paddling area. Half of the pool, which is near the hotel, is 1.3 or 1.4 meters in depth, and the pool furthest away from the hotel is 0.95 to 1.15 meters deep. So for this, the smaller of those two pools was perfect for our children to be able to play in, and both touch the bottom throughout the pool. There are also two smaller pools on the hotel side. One is a paddling pool in depth, and this is located right next to the hotel building itself, but tucked into a corner, and this is shaded for almost all of the day. Because it's shady and only a paddle in depth, it's perfect for families with really young children who will be looking to keep them out of the sun. The other one near the hotel is next to the entrance to and from the restaurant. This has seating inside of it and jacuzzi jets that you can turn on at the press of a button. Near the bridge, there's also a spiral staircase that goes up to a splash pool. This is pirate themed and has a boat with cannons that fire water. There's also slides and one of the tipping bucket things that goes onto a mushroom and splashes out everywhere. This seemed great for kids. There's a gate at the top so that children can't just run up and down the steps at will. They would need to have adult supervision. Our children are getting a little bit too big for it and preferred the main pools further down, but if you've got slightly younger children than us, it's absolutely perfect to spend the afternoon. And again, there's better availability around this for sunbeds and for shade than what there is by the main pool itself. The downside for this pool is the fact that it's at the top of a spiral staircase. This means you have to go up and down the spiral staircase to go to the bar, up and down the spiral staircase to take children to the toilet, and it was all right when we were going up and down it, but I have a feeling that if there's lots of children running up and down it all afternoon, it might end up a little bit slippy if it gets wet. Underneath the splash pool is one of two poolside bars. The one under the splash pool is the busier of the two, and if you go opposite, there's another one that a lot of people didn't seem to know about that had much shorter queues. I hadn't even realised that that one was there until my wife told me about that one. There is a no reserving policy for sunbeds. This is clearly labelled on the pool rules, however, it's not really followed. So if you've come to Malta for a bit of sun, a bit of a fly and flop holiday, and you plan on spending a lot of time in the hotel by the pool, you might need to be out nice and early to be able to get your favourite spot by the pool. Otherwise, there might end up being a little bit of a fight on your hands to get lounges together or lounges in and out of shade as needed. When you check in, pool towels have a deposit and you'll be given a little card that will let you swap for pool towels at the pool bar. So the pool bar itself will queue from the front, and if you go to the side where the person washes the glasses and things, you'll be able to swap your card for towels there, or swap wet towels for dry towels, or towels for cards, however you want to work it. There is also an additional pool inside. This is a heated pool at the spa. Now, we normally love a spa, but we've done that much whilst being here in Malta. Unfortunately, we haven't had a chance to take advantage of the spa this time. Over the road from the hotel, there's a bar called 9 Lives, and the bar is situated on the beach and has sun lounges on the sands going to the sea if you want. This is just a stone's throw from the hotel, but is separate to the hotel. So those sun lounges, if you do want to be on the sand and on the beach instead of by the pool, do come with an additional charge. The hotel has 5 restaurants and a cafe currently open. All of the restaurants currently open, apart from Salia, which is the Italian restaurant, are buffet. The main buffet restaurant changes its dishes each evening. It doesn't feel like you're eating the same food over and over again every night. My personal favourite restaurant was Tagine. This was a restaurant which served Indian and Moroccan dishes together. So for me, I love an onion bhaji and I love hummus, so it was just a perfect night for me. Sabroso was a Brazilian and Mexican restaurant. Now again, like Tagine, like the main restaurant, this was a buffet one, but in addition to your buffet, there was also a waiter that would come round with big skewers of Brazilian beef that they would sort of carve up at your table and serve. Both the kids and my wife adored this because they're bigger meat eaters than I, but it just added that little bit of extra flair to that restaurant over and above the buffet itself. So to access Sabroso, you have to head up to the 10th floor, and next to Sabroso is another restaurant called Yishan. This is an Oriental East Asian restaurant, and it has Chinese dishes such as noodles and duck. It also has 1 or 2 Thai dishes as well as sushi. Salia is the Italian restaurant. It has sharing menu where between 2 people you share a platter of picky dishes where there's lots of different small portions of different things for you to try. Then you have shared starters between the two, and then each person would then choose individual mains. There is also an additional menu which gives you more choice of a lot more variety of Italian dishes, more different types of pasta, more different types of pizza. However, that comes with an additional charge. So if you're not all-inclusive, you'll pay whatever price is on that menu. If you are all-inclusive at the DB San Antonio, what you'll pay is €12 per person, and you'll get for that a 3-course meal. So you get a starter, a main and a dessert, as long as you've got the all-inclusive wristband. As you enter the main reception, there is a cafe which serves cakes and coffees. There are ice creams, and if you choose ice creams from the freezer, they are chargeable, as is the freezer by the pool. However, if you order ice cream at the counter in a tub with a spoon, then that is included in your all-inclusive. There is also an additional a la carte on the roof. However, this one is seasonal and it doesn't open until the 10th of June, so we're still a week or two early from it. That restaurant is an additional Indian restaurant on top of the tagine that I mentioned earlier. Apart from the buffet restaurant, all the restaurants are bookable, and you can do this either with one of the staff at the main buffet restaurant, or alternatively there are screens which you can go on and use your room number to book the extra restaurants. Even though all of them, apart from the Salia that we've used, are buffet restaurants, you still do have to book in advance. So if there's one of them you want to try, I would definitely recommend doing it a couple of days early. Each one can only be booked once per week. There is a kids club, however, as with the spa, we never really got a chance to take advantage of it during this holiday. The kids club does have activities for the children, but also has consoles, and the console that they had was a PS5. In addition to the kids club, the animation team also do events throughout the day at the pools. They do lots of games, bringing in not just the kids who are in the kids club, but adults and people around the pool in. So they had like goalkeeping competitions, basketball competitions, and so on. They also do some activities that are just for adults, not kids. So for instance, this afternoon by the pool, they were doing archery, but you had to be a grown-up to be able to take part, much to Clara's dismay. There's also a mini disco every night at 8:30. A lot of the songs are getting to the point where our kids are probably getting a little bit too old for them. So the mini disco here are things like Head, Shoulders, Knees and Toes and Baby Shark. Following the mini disco, 5 nights a week, they have a show that they put on. And the other 2 nights, one of them is live singing, and the other one, if you count this as entertainment, is karaoke. Karaoke's not really for us though. We have been caught out by the shows. So there's an app on your phone that'll tell you what's on when, including the shows that run in an evening. And the app isn't very accurate, so it quite often has the wrong show against the wrong day. They also have physical signs next to the cozy bar where the mini disco takes place as to what shows on what night. However, the week that we've been here, they updated the week shows on the Wednesday, even though the signs run Monday to Friday. And the show that Clara really wanted to see had been labelled Thursday one week, and they didn't change it until the Wednesday, and it changed to the Wednesday. So because we thought Wednesday had karaoke, we went nowhere near that bit of the hotel on the evening. And then when we went the next day, which is when the signs all said that the Disney show was on, it was a karaoke night. So it meant that we had a very disappointed child. So if there's a show that you particularly want to see, make sure you check regularly just back to those physical signs to make sure that the week that's shown is the week that you're on, to make sure that you don't miss it like we did. The hotel has signs for a gift shop, but the gift shop isn't really in the hotel itself. It takes you through a corridor to what is basically one of the gift shops that's on the front street. Now, this caught us by surprise a little bit the first time we went into it. However, it means that compared to a lot of hotel gift shops, the gift shop is an actual absolute bargain. So they had fridge magnets for between €1 and €2, depending upon the size of the fridge magnet, which a lot of people do like for keepsake. One of the things that we've got is football shirts. So they had replica Malta national football shirts, and for an adult it was €12 for a shirt, and for a child it was €12 for a shirt and shorts together, which I think's really good for what is essentially signposted as a gift shop within a hotel. All in all, I think the hotel has been a good base to explore out from, although there do seem to be a lot of guests here who have come to the hotel and don't seem to have left it and have been in the hotel every single day. And I think that for that, I don't think you're really experiencing Malta, and I don't think the hotel is the kind of hotel we would want to come to for that kind of fly and flop holiday. The hotel is, I think, optimistically labelled as a 4-star hotel, but I'm not sure the execution and service reflects a lot of the 4-star hotels that we've stayed in the past. So our favourite hotel that we've ever stayed in was also a 4-star. This was the Heritage Suites in Siem Reap, and this hotel isn't a patch on that. I think it has more activities that are family focused here and that are more amenities, but I don't think the execution and delivery of the service matches what we've experienced in other 4-star hotels. And I think for us, that is probably more important than having activities by the pool and lots of games and things. To be fair, the hotel though, it is something that we've chosen specifically as a base to explore out from. We chose it because of its location and because we've not long been back from India, so fancied having something all-inclusive. Normally we wouldn't go for such a high-rise hotel. We like our hotels to be sprawling, and again, this is just part of it being chosen for us as a base, not to be the main part of our holiday. That being said, we've done day trips almost every single day that we've been in Malta. So if you'd like to see some of the excursions we've done, some of the things that we've seen, if you're coming to Malta, maybe ideas for what you can do whilst you're here, please do consider hitting that subscribe button and join us next time as we do a tour around some of the highlights of Malta, as we see things like the Red Tower, the views over Popeye Village and Mdina. Thank you for watching. Bye now.